Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to work on yet another Java project, and this project is going to be specifically for beginners. If you are new to let's say web service framework or Java or Spring Boot, then this project is for you. So in this project what we are going to do is we are going to create a user management portal. So this is just going to manage a list of users and nothing else. It's a very simple project, and you will see why I'm saying this as a simple project. So here what you will get is you will get to know about Spring Boot, you will get to know about JPA and MySQL, and afterwards I'm going to append this project to PostgreSQL as well, so that you have more exposure towards multiple database languages. Now here we are going to use CRUD operations, so that is a must. And if you don't know, CRUD operations are being used in a lot of projects nowadays. So if you know about JPA, then this is a good exposure for you. If you don't know about that, then it's okay, you are going to learn it in this video itself. And let's not waste any more time and then work on the code. But yeah, before that, if you are new to my channel, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I see that there are a lot of people watching my videos but not yet subscribing, so it's really heartbreaking. So please subscribe to my channel. And now let's kickstart this video. Alright, so the very first thing that I would like to do is there's a Spring initializer. So here we don't need to change much. Let's do Maven and keep everything as exactly same. Now here in the artifact name I'm going to do user management portal. Alright, it's a big name, I know. Let's add dependencies. So first thing is your Spring Web, right? And then we are going to need DevTools as well. And what else? JPA. Now if we are using JPA, so which database? So for now we are going with MySQL. And what else? I think we are good for now. Right, now let's just generate this project, and you will get a zip file of this. You just need to unzip that zip file and import it to your favorite IDE. So in this video I'm going to use Eclipse. If you want to use IntelliJ, then that's okay, use that. Alright, so I have extracted this zip file and I have this folder now. So just select this and import it. Now it is going to take some time depending on your system or maybe internet speed. So that's that. Alright, so this is the basic structure that we have. So we have this main class, and then we have resources folder which is empty. Okay, so starting with application.properties, we need these 4 properties. So this URL specifies that to which database do you want to connect to. If it is at some other server, provide that IP address, otherwise just put localhost, because I'm just using my system itself. So and this is the default port. Then you just need to specify your database name. So I'm just going to do user management. Alright, now the password, and this is what you provide in the installation itself. So this is that. This is specifically for if you want to create or update your tables, your data structure basically in your database. So for now you can do create, and if you run this application over and over again, then this is going to create your tables again and again, which means that your data, whatever data you have kept in the tables before, that is going to be overwritten by nothing. So you need to update this to update. In this case it will append rather than overwrite. So we are done with our application.properties. Now let's create the database in the MySQL workbench. Alright, so now let's create a new schema. Let's use the name user management, and this is the name that we have given in the application.properties file as well. So let's apply, and that's it. Alright, so our database is created. Now we are all set. Now let's move on to our code. So let's start with our templates first. So what do we need? So as we are going with Thymeleaf, we need templates. So let's go with our HTML files. Alright, so first one is going to be add user.html, right? Alright, so for those who don't know about CRUD operations, CRUD means create, read, update and delete. So these four operations combined means your CRUD operations, right? So in create, we create a new object, and in read, we read all the objects that we have created. Then in the case of update, we update that object, whatever is going to be updated, that itself is going to be updated, right? Delete also applies on a specific case. So whatever object you want to delete, just delete that, right? So these are the four operations, and these four operations matter so much in every application, because whenever you create a web application, or let's say a web service, you need these four operations. So I think it's a must if you know about it, but if you don't, then it's okay, you will eventually learn about it, right? So let's first put the title here. So title is going to be add user. Now here we are going to use Bootstrap, so I'm going to import the CDN for that. Alright, so imports are done. Now what do we need? So let's talk about the basic structure. So we need a heading which will specify that this is an add user page. Okay. Then what do we need? We need basic form to fill out the details. So for user, whatever details you want to add, just provide those details, and then at the end we need a save button or add button, with which when we click on it, it will save the data to our database, right? So in this page we need these many information. Alright, so this is what we need. So let me summarize what we have done. So I have put up a header with some padding. So this is the heading. Then we have a form, and this form has some fields like first name, then we have last name, we have gender, and we have radio buttons here. So if you see, we have male, female and other. Then we have date of birth, right, email, and then we have this create button, so you can also update it to add, save, whatever you want. Now we have everything. Now you might be wondering, we have something like this. What is this? So this ties your field to the object which is going to be filled through this form. So I'm going to come back to this. So what we have to do is, first we need to create an object of user. And how do we do that? We first need an entity. So let's create that. So for entity, I need a package as well as a class. So let's do both at the same time. Let's do entity. Alright, then we just going to say user and finish. Alright, so first thing first, let's annotate this with entity. Now I want my tables to be created through JPA itself, so let's do annotation table as well, and that is because I want a different name, users, right? Now what columns do we need? So let me put this side by side like this, and let me scroll this. Okay, so first thing first is that we need an ID, then we need first name, so first name, and remember the name, whatever you have mentioned here, this has to be exactly similar to what we have provided here, right? Now I'll just copy this line, and this is my last name. What else? We have gender, and and then we have date of birth, so date of birth, DOB, then we have email, and that's it. Alright, now let's put the annotation. So this is an ID, which is your primary key. Then we need a generation strategy for this. So generated column, generated value, and then strategy equals your identity. Alright, now this is just a column, and let's put this in each of our column. Now here you can do validations as well along with the annotations, but I'm just going to keep it simple so that we have enough in our plate and not much. Alright, now what do we need? We need a constructor. So constructor using fields. Let's deselect all, generate, and then we need a constructor using field, select all, generate, and then we need getters and setters. Oops. Here you can use the Lombok as well, and that will reduce a lot of time and lines of code. Alright, now we are done with everything here. Okay, now let's create a controller so that we can test our application. So let's create a class along with the package. So this is going to be controller, and here we will say user controller. Alright, so first thing is going to be to annotate this with your controller annotation. Now what do we need? We need a mapping. So your mapping is going to be public, obviously, string, and here we will say add user, and here we will return the page, which is your, what was the name, add user. Alright, now here this is going to be a get mapping. Here we will just say add user, and here we will also use a model so that we can provide the empty object which is going to be filled with this information from your add user page, right? So let's provide that using model. So model dot add attribute, and first thing is going to be the name, which is your user, and here you will just say user. Okay, now you didn't create an object, so let's do that. New user, import user. Alright, so we are done. Now coming back to add user page, let's see if okay, so this we need to change. This is going to be user, and this should redirect to save user. Okay, so it looks good for now. Now we need this save user mapping as well, right? So let's do a post mapping, public string save user. Now we don't have anything yet to save the user, so for now I'll just use the mapping save user, and here I'll just do sysout user has came through, like this. And here we'll just say void. So what will happen is when we save this user, it is going to redirect to this mapping which is in your controller class, and this user object is going to be pre-filled with what we have here in this form itself, right? Now when we get that user, we can always see if we have anything or not, but we can always check that in the database itself. Now we have much to go on, so what do we need first is, let's just run this application. So for now, maybe you are thinking we haven't connected to the database yet, we haven't got any service layer or DAO layer, so how is this going to work? So it won't actually save anything to the database, right? But we can check if the UI is working fine, if we are going to redirect back to this save user or not, right? So this is just an example. Also, I will get the table created for me, so that is also another thing. Alright, so I can see that the application is started. It took some time, but that's okay. Now let's refresh. Let's go to tables, and here you can see the tables. Now let's do the UI test. So here I'll just do localhost 8080 and add user. So I'm just directly hitting the mapping, nothing else. So here I am getting an error, add user. Okay. What did we miss? So we have add user.html. Still this is not working. Why? Alright, so I forgot to add this dependency Thymeleaf, and this is why it is not working. So coming to pom.xml, let's quickly add this. Alright, so far so good. Alright, so the application restarted. Now let's refresh this, and here we go. So here we have add user form. So let's fill everything. Let's add this. Yeah, so that's okay, it didn't do much, but if you go here in the console, and let me go up a bit. So here you can see user has came through. So this is what we needed. Now we can work on our service layer and DAO layer so that we can actually save the data and see it through in the database, right? So UI is working fine. Now let's kickstart and work on the database side. So first thing is that we need DAO layer, so that is going to be our interface, and for that I need a package, and I'm just going to say user DAO finish. Now we don't need to annotate this with repository annotation, but I'm going to do that. So repository. Now this is going to extend an interface of JPA. So JPA helps a bit when you want to work on CRUD operation, because it indirectly uses your CRUD repository annotation, CRUD repository interface. So this is what we need, right? Alright, so moving on, what do we need? We need the type. So our type is user, as in user class. Let's import. Okay, now the type, as in the type of the primary key, so that is going to be long, and we are done. That's it. Now let's create the service layer. So ideally we should create a DAO interface and then the DAO implementation as in the DAO class, but we are keeping it short, so yeah. Now we need service layer, which is going to be a class. Again, here ideally we should have an interface and then a class, but then again, let's save some time. Alright, so this is going to be a service, so let's annotate this with service, and this is our most important class after your controller. Why? Because here we are going to use our CRUD operations, the main core of this application. So here we need an object of your DAO. So use a DAO and let's auto wire this. Now first method, what do we need? We need to get all users, right? So public list of type user, and here we will say get all users, and this is simply going to return user DAO dot find all. That's it. Now we are done with our first operation, which is your read operation, right? Second thing is going to be to add a user. So this is going to return nothing, or let's just return an object user. Why am I privating this method? So this is public user add user, and here I will just say provide me the object which you want me to add in the database, and then what I will do is I'll use user DAO to use the method save user, and then I'll just simply return the object. So this save methods return the object whichever it is saving along with the ID, right? Yeah, so that is that. Now we are done with two operations. Now we have edit method as well, and then we have delete. So let's first work with delete. So void delete user, here we need ID, and here I'll just simply say user DAO dot delete by ID. Okay, now we have edit method, that is our last method. So edit user, here we need ID, so user DAO dot save. Now here we need an object, right? So here what I will do is user equals to user DAO user DAO dot find by ID. Alright, so here it will save user, and then we can just return this. Okay, so far so good. Now this is not done yet, as in not completely done yet, but this is going to work for now. Now coming back to controller class, here we are going to do some changes. So first thing would be to actually save the object. So here let me create an object of user service. Auto wire this. So here what I will do is I will use service layer dot add user and user. So once this is done, in that case I'll just redirect. So right now I cannot redirect, but I'll just redirect. Right, so yeah, so to which mapping should I redirect? So that mapping I need, so that is going to be get users, and this is again going to be a get mapping. Alright, so this is our get operation as a read operation. So here we need to pass something to this page so that it can display a list of users. So what will that be? So model dot add, and here I'll just say users list, and here user service dot get all users. Alright, so here we will redirect to this page get users. Alright, so far so good. So for now let's create a dummy page of get users so that we can test if our save operation is working fine or not. So I'll just copy this, paste it here, and let's do view users. And as we are using Thymeleaf tags, so let me put it like this. Alright, now so right now view user is exactly similar to what we have in add users. So let me change this a bit. View users, and I'll just remove this. So we have just the heading, that's it, right? Okay, so let me restart the application. Alright, so the application is restarted. Let's go back to add user. We have everything filled, so that's good. Click on add. And we got redirected to view users, which is good. Now let's see if we have anything in this table or not. So select rows. Okay, so we got something, and it seems we got everything, right? So yeah, this is good. Now let's work on this page view users. Alright. Alright, so what do we have? We have a table which is going to be having some columns. So ID, first name, last name, everything what we have in our user object. Along with that we have these two, edit and delete. So this is going to be a button per row. So in each of our row we are going to see two buttons, edit and delete. So if you click on edit, then it is going to redirect you to the edit page. if you click on the delete button, then this is going to come back to the same page, which is your view users page, and display whether the user has been deleted or not. So if it has been deleted, then the list is going to have everything except the user that you just deleted, right? Now we are looping through our user list, which we have received from our controller. So let's take a look there. So here we are passing this users list, right, from this get all users. So the same list is being used here inside a loop. So this is a loop, and for each iteration we are going to have a tr, which is your table row, right? Now we have id, first name, everything whatever we need. Along with that we have this edit user and delete user URI. So right now we don't have these mappings, so I'll just create that. So then at the bottom we have this button, which is your button block, big button, right, with add new user. So you don't have to explicitly type in the URI add user. Once you click on this button, you are going to go back to the page add user. So that is another thing. Now let's create the mapping for your edit and delete operations as well. So edit is going to be a put mapping. So public string edit user, and here the mapping is going to be something like, so first is your get mapping, where you will redirect to your simple page. That's it. Edit and user. So how do we actually edit a user? We add it through a UI form. But first we need to see what information we have currently in the database. Then if we want to edit that, we can, right? So first thing is that we need to display everything whatever we have in the database right now. So for that I need an argument, as in a variable, which is going to be id. Alright. Now I need model object again, so that I can pass this in the UI page. So here we are going to need a UI page, which is going to be your edit user page. Now I need the user object here, but how do I get that? I will get that through my user service class, but right now I don't have any method, so let's do that. Public user get user by id. Return this. Alright, so here I need to have an id, and we are good. So here model dot add attribute, user, and here user service dot get user by id and id. That's it, and we're done. Now we need a put mapping, right? So public string edit save user, so now here what do we need? Edit save user, and okay, so in this case I will use the same mapping, which is your save user mapping. somewhat similar, right? This is your post mapping, but we need put mapping, so everything is going to be similar. So you can simply copy this and you will get the user object here. Now right now the mapping is same, but also the add user page and edit user page, they both are going to be exactly same. So let's walk there. Now let's quickly create that page. So again, just copy this, paste it, add it user. Alright, so we have everything which is similar, so let's modify this a bit. This is add it. This is not going to come back to save user, rather add it save user. And what else? We don't have ID field here, which we need. Now either you can keep this hidden or you can just disable this. Now why do we actually need this? So we want this object user to come back with the ID attribute, but we don't want the user to edit this somehow, right? So that would be really bad. So that's why this is disabled, or you can keep this hidden as well, both will work. Now instead of add, let's say update. So far so good. Now we are left with delete user. So alright, so this is going to be somewhat similar to what we have in added user. So this is going to be a get mapping. Ideally this should be a delete mapping. Alright, now here we will just say user service dot delete user long id. We don't need model here. Once the ID is deleted, just redirect to get users. Now let's restart the application and see if both these edit and delete operations are working fine. Along with that, we are going to see this view users page, right? So let's restart. Alright, so let's refresh this page, get users. Alright, so we don't see anything. Do we have anything in the database? Let's see. Yeah, we have that, so it should display, but it didn't. What went wrong? Get all users. We have find all method there. That's okay. It is going to return back. In the view users page, we have user list. Okay, yeah, so my bad. Users list, so we just need to add an as here. Add an as. Let's refresh this page. Alright, so we got the data, and what's that? I cannot see. Okay, let's modify this a bit. Okay, so I have added my custom style here, which is just to display the links basically. So if you hover over it, or if you don't, then you want to see something. So now did I save? I didn't. Okay, now let's refresh the page. This is better, right? Now I can see my information which I have did before, and if I delete this, and it didn't, no static resource, delete user. Okay, so many problems. Delete user. Alright, now come back here, refresh the page, click on delete one more time, and voila, did work. Now let's add a new user. Yeah. First name Shri, last name Ram, mail. Not sure if I can guess that, but alright. test@gmail.com. Click on add. Alright, so we have everything here. Now let's try to edit this, and let's do a change in the email address. Let's do test123, and up now here if you see, this is disabled, right? You cannot edit this, but you can edit anything that you want here. So right now I'm just changing the email address, and let's update this, and I got edit save user error. Okay, no problem. Controller edit save user, my bad. So let me restart the application. Alright, let's refresh this page. Added the mail test123 update, and post is not supported. Okay, too many mistakes. Added user. So yeah, this is another change from your add user. So this is put. Come back here, refresh the page again, added the email, hopefully for the last time. Click on update, and get is not supported. Ugh. Alright, let me try this annotation. Let's see if this is going to work. Alright, so let's try. Request method get is not supported. Okay, I think this put is not supported from Thymeleaf. So let me make a change in application.properties. I hope this workaround is going to work. Otherwise, I'll just put this to post. Let me try this as well. I think this could be the issue. Alright, let me refresh this. Okay, update the email. Click on update. Request method post is not supported. Here we have put. Alright. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if it is going to work. Alright, let's see now. 1 through 3. This worked, but it created a new ID. Okay, I think I know the problem. So in added save user, we are getting the user, we are adding it rather than editing it. Okay, so user service, we have this method edit user, right? So let's use that, and here we'll just say get ID. Alright, so let's edit this one. Let's do John Doe and other update. Given ID must not be null. We should be getting this ID, but maybe this is disabled, that is why it is not coming. Okay, good point. So for now, let's keep this as hidden. Let's see. We don't have the ID now, we have everything. Let's do John Doe again. click on update, and nothing happened. So we have two entry with Sriram as the name, but we don't have John Doe. So this update is not working as expected. This is previous error. Okay, coming to controller, it should come to this user. Okay, let me debug this. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's start our application in debug mode. Alright, so the application is restarted. Alright, now the application is started in the debug mode. So now let's edit this. Okay, now let's see what we have. So we got John, we got Doe, and gender is other. Everything is okay. Then why? Now the ID, did we got the ID? ID we got 3. So ideally this should work. Okay, so in the edit we are getting the okay, so this is my bad. So what's happening is it is finding the same object whichever we had before in the database and then saving it over. So here rather what we need to do is, so when we get this user, we can save this user. Okay, let me try, actually let me experiment this a bit. So in edit user, let's to put, and let's try save user for now. Let's see what happens. So edit, okay, so what I will do is, let me revert the changes, edit save user and put. Alright, now in the controller what I will do is, I will basically copy this and paste it here, and this add user method I'm going to modify a bit. So what I will do is, in user service here I'll delete this, I don't need this anymore. Instead of add, I will say save or update. Alright, so what will happen is I'm going to use the same method over and over again. I could have used the same mapping, it's just that this is post mapping and this is going to be put mapping. So that's the difference. Why am I getting the error? Okay, didn't save the changes. Alright, so we are good. So let's do one more round of testing overall to see if everything is working properly or not. Alright, let's refresh this. Let's delete everything. So delete is working fine. Click on add. Alright, click on add. So I got the data. Now let's edit this. John Doe. Let's do other update and working. So this is it, what I wanted to showcase in this video. In the next video of this part of the series, what I will do is I will try to make this application RESTful. So through that we are not going to have a UI page, rather a RESTful application. So I will work on that later on. So if you have watched this video till here, please subscribe my channel, and we will meet in some another video. Till then, have a good day, stay happy, and bye bye.